right, so let's move the flesh from the sit bones and sit tall. Close the eyes. And just take a moment in Sukhasana here to establish your seat. So asana means seat. And as you come into the seated position, just feel the heaviness in the base of the body, grounding and connecting you to the earth. And bringing awareness to the present moment. And from that rooted grounding, begin to feel a lengthening through the vertebrae, space between the discs. Draw the chin in and let the back of the neck lengthen and lift through the crown of the head. And feel that lightness as you continue to extend upward, creating more and more space in the body. And with that long, extended spine, just bring your attention back down to the root. And there you can just consciously tap open the base of the spine. So just feel conscious engagement. And when you feel that opening at the base of the spine, allow the earth energy to come up through the root, past the sacral area, past the solar plexus, and let it settle into the heart. So earth energy established in the heart. And then bring your awareness into the crown of the head and start to tap open the crown of the head. So just consciously allow that area of the body to be receptive. And then from here, just bringing in all the light energy, all the higher knowledge and wisdom, the higher codes. Let them come in, flood through the crown of the head, down past the third eye, past the throat, and let that settle now into the heart, where these two energies of earth and heaven intermingle. Some of you may even begin to organically see the symbol of yin-yang. And as these energies intermingle in the heart, feeling a balance between these two qualities. So how much of our time and our effort and our energy and our mental thought processes are devoted to what we do here on earth in this physical body, in this physical plane. And then how much of our time and energy and devotion is related to our relationship to the divine, to the heavenly realms. This would be our practices, our meditation, the arts, things that bring us inspiration. And then just for yourself, recognize for a moment whether or not you feel balance between the two. Or does one seem to be dominating the other? Is more of your attention, your energy wrapped up in what you have to do here on the earthly plane? Those lower chakra energies of food, survival, money, family, sexuality, relationship, and action. And then relate that also to the higher chakras. So the higher chakras of expression, truth, inspiration, clear seeing, guidance from higher knowing, higher realities. And these are things that maybe we think about on some level in the back of our mind, but bringing them to the forefront and just asking the question to ourselves, are these in balance, is very helpful. Sometimes our minds, if they don't know the answer to a question, will continue to ruminate over it until an answer is found. And so in our breath too, we can find this balance. So as you breathe in, just allow the breath to come in through the nostrils. Fill the chest, fill the ribs, the belly, maybe even tap into the pelvic floor. And then exhale from the pelvic floor, lift the navel in and up underneath the rib cage. Rib cage squeezes together, chest pushes the breath the rest of the way out through the nostrils. And a few rounds here of just breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. And just, again, take in the information. Is there balance between the inhalation, the quality of inhalation, the capacity of inhalation, to that of the exhalation? Or are we finding there's a preference of one portion of the breath over the other? If there's a sense of restriction, observing that restriction. Is it a rushing? Is it a feeling of inhibition? Is something stifling the breath? Maybe some heaviness or fear, worry, any kind of blockage in that way. And that can be either on the front end or the back end. We can see that on the inhalation or the exhalation. And then see if you can relax just a little more deeply. And as you relax more deeply, do these breaths come into greater balance? Some of these patterns have been so established within us, it takes time to shift them. But they will shift. They will shift over time. And we can add that even further so that as you breathe in on the inhalation, you can bring in a soft pause at the top of the breath and just hold the breath in for a moment, no specific count, and just observe how you feel. And then as you exhale, breath leaves the body, same way. And then pausing at the bottom of the exhalation and observing that. And any differences that might be there between the two. Does any one portion of the breath create any stress in the body? Any gripping or holding, tension? Are there different qualities or feelings? Is there a different feeling attached to holding in versus holding out? Can you feel within that hold, that little voice, very subtle inspiration, that after holding on the inhalation, it guides you at the right time and the right moment to release? Or after holding, after exhalation, that little nudge, that little voice that happens or occurs just before you breathe in again? And then can you be in this process of inhalation, pause, exhalation, pause, without any strain or stress? Or does just merely bringing attention to it, the efforting of it, cause the body to start to tense up? And can you relax more deeply to let that go? And And then finally, on this last breath here, we'll breathe in and bring our hands to our heart. Bow the head to the hands and just, let some of that information settle into the mind. And feel here that between the palms, there's perfect balance between the right hand and the left hand. One not pushing the other more than, and creating that feeling of stability there at the heart. And it's from this place here that we bow our heads and offer this intention for the practice today. To create greater awareness, not only of the present moment, but of the subtleties of the present moment. And that requires that we slow down. We're seeking to recognize where balance is, as well as where there is imbalance. And sometimes simply by just becoming aware of it, it'll shift. So if there's anything that relates to that in your own life right now, then please bring that into your intention. Place this in the heart and we'll surround it with unconditional love and forgiveness, recognizing that we are all trying our best at all times. And that is all that we can do. And we're going to begin with the chant of Om 3 times. So take a deep inhale in, fill the lungs completely. And then a long exhale out and just purge all that stale old air. Just let it go. And then another fresh, deep breath. Lower your chin to your chest again, lower your hands to your knees. And just take your time to gradually come back into the room. So ease the eyes back into this time and place. So we're just going to simply breathe in, reach the arms up, turn the palms so they face up, lift and lengthen through the side bodies, get as long as you can, and then exhale, turn the palms down, and just slowly lower the arms at the same rate as the breath. Very simple. Repeat that again. Inhale, reaching and lengthening as long as you can. And really try to link these movements together so that you don't get to the top of the palms together and you're still breathing in, or vice versa. And then exhale, slowly lower the arms. Keep reaching out through the fingers so the arms extend as they come down. 3 more like that, establishing an even inhale, even exhale. So a nice count that's helpful when we're creating this Samavritti practice is a 5 inhale, 5 exhale. Kind of meets us right in the middle there, but any breath that you have that's balanced and stable is perfect. Inhale. Really stretch through the rib cage as the arms come over the head. You really keep that height through the spine as you let the arms come down. So almost as if you're going taller while the arms lower. Let's just do 1 more. Inhale. Filling the lungs, stretching into the rib cage, feeling the sternum lift, and an elongation of the waist here. So much room in the torso. And then exhale, and slowly come down. Good. We're going to let the right fingertips come into the earth. Inhale the left arm long. And then just walk that hand out. Plant the palm, press the hip away from the fingertips, and elongate the side body. And now just feeling a little extra stretch there in the lateral. Navel rotates slightly to the left. You can gaze up at the left inner arm or keep the head neutral, whatever's more comfortable for you. Keep breathing here as you extend from the hip to the fingertips. And see what kind of length you can get on that inhale breath, and then exhale, same length. Good, and then lifting with the left arm, slowly come all the way back up into seated. And again, just take that moment to feel what you've done. So hands to the knees, sit tall, close the eyes, and observe just that simple difference between the right and the left. Left fingertips to the floor, inhale the right arm up. Walk those fingers out, and let's do the other side. So now right hip presses away from the fingertips, elongating the side body. And you know, where you're gonna feel the sensation is unique to each individual. So you can maybe feel it up in the shoulder, maybe in the side ribs, maybe in the waist or the hip. It just depends on where we're holding or where there may be gripping in the body. So keep rotating the navel to the right, keep leaning back with the chest. Gazing up at that inner arm or neck neutral. Breathe here. So one more full Ujjayi breath. Even inhale, even exhale. Count if it helps. And then lift that top arm, slowly come back up, and once again, just kind of feel the difference between the right side and the left. So a little stretch here for the shoulders. We're gonna bring the feet out and flex the feet with the knees bent. Take the back of your hand onto your left, back of your left hand onto your left rib cage, back of the right hand onto the right rib cage. So you're making chicken wings essentially. And then take the elbows on the insides of the knees. And depending on how tight you are in your upper back, this may be enough. Maybe you're feeling it in the shoulders, but you can heel toe your feet in a little bit and just start to stretch back of the shoulders, back of the arms, and that space behind the heart. And just breathe here. Some of you may be very flexible, elbows may even be able to touch, and others it might be difficult just to get the elbow behind the knee, so just unique. Keep breathing into it. And feel those energy channels beginning to open, clearing out that heaviness, that density that's there. And then slowly release. If you want to roll the shoulders a few times, that might feel good. You can cross your ankles again back into Sukhasana. And now we'll reach the hands behind us, interlace the fingers for Yoga Mudra. Pull the knuckles away, stretching the heart, lifting through the torso. And then we're going to exhale and forward fold through the legs. Let the knuckles reach up towards the heavens. Keep pulling them away from you so that their shoulders are away from the ears. Breathe deeply here. And then pull the knuckles all the way back till you come back up into seated. And now take the knuckles to the right waist. Bring that right elbow back and tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. And just feel that release there through the side of the neck and upper shoulders. So nice. Good. Knuckles reach back behind you in Yoga Mudra again. So equal squeezing, opening up the chest. And now take the hands to the left waist. Left elbow pulls back. And now left ear comes to left shoulder. And we feel that stretch along the right side of the body. And just enjoy getting that oxygen in there, all that fresh nutrients, cleaning and clearing the area out. Very nice. And then reach the hands back and head to neutral. One more Yoga Mudra. And then just let the arms go. Let them fall to the knees. And feel that sweet release as prana flows effortlessly now down through the arms into the fingertips. All right, we're going to come into tabletop position. So we'll have the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet pressed firmly into the earth. And we're just going to begin with some cat-cow dynamic undulations for the spine. So inhale, let the heart lift, sit bones lift as you look up. And then exhale, draw the navel to the spine, round the back, and take the sit bones to the heels, child's pose. Again, we're gonna inhale, heart lifts, sit bones lift, extending the sternum away from the tailbone. Exhale, navel draws in toward the back body. Bend the elbows slightly as you come down. Good. Keep going now with your even breath. So really take a moment if you need to count this so that the breath is equal. And once you're established in Samavritti, if you'd like, bring in that pause at the top of inhalation and just observe. And then you can go back to the exhalation, same length as the inhalation. And then again, a pause, just hold. Keep going with your breath, your count. Notice that feeling of holding the breath in and letting a prana absorb into the body on inhalation. And on the exhalation, hold. You're feeling just that sense of emptiness and observing, just clarity. 2 more, please. Last one, we're going to stay in child's pose. So no rush to get there, just take your time. And we're going to reach the hands back and grab onto the heels with the hands, so embryo version here. Let the forehead stay down into the mat and just round the upper back. Let the shoulders really soften. Feel everything melt. Good. And then bring the hands forward. Bring the elbows down into the mat. We're going to do dolphin variation of down dog. So either interlacing the fingers and pressing the forearms down, or spreading the palms wide with the forearms parallel. You're going to tuck the back toes under, lift the sit bones up and back for dolphin, or forearm down dog. And here we can bend one knee and press the other heel down, and just observe any tension that might be there in the back of the leg. And then bend the other knee and press the other heel down. And notice if they're equal and balanced, or if there's some difference between right and left sides. And you can go back and forth as many times as you need to, slow or quickly. But eventually we're going to stay there with the feet hip distance apart. Toes turned in slightly, heels out. Roll those inner thighs in and back. Strong legs, so engage the quads. And even though the heels may not touch, you're going to ground those heels down as if they touch and lift the hips away so that you're elongating the back of the leg. Now each exhalation can send the navel underneath the rib cage, so hollowing out the belly. And look for and observe that natural pause at the top of inhalation and exhalation, and just the qualities that they bring in, slight differences between the two. And the highest level here of awareness is to observe if you can feel that little voice, that little nudge that occurs just before it's time to breathe out again, or it's time to breathe in again. Good, last breath here. And then knees to floor, sit bones to heels. Once again, wrap the hands around the heels and just let the upper back round. So the forehead's in the mat. Feel that melting sensation through the shoulders. Arms forward again. This time we're going to come up in a tabletop position and tuck the toes for downward facing dog. So we've got some flexibility in the legs from what we've just done. And in the upper body, we're going to roll the shoulder heads away from the ears. Squeeze the inner elbows toward one another and press firmly through the web of the index and thumb. So the hands are nice and grounded. As you root into the earth through the hands, you can lift the hips away, so you're really elongating the waist, creating as much space along the side bodies as possible. Same thing as you're rooting into the heels, or even if they don't touch, sending that energy down and lifting the hips away. You want to feel that that balance between the hands and feet is equal. And then here in the navel center, feeling the navel draw in and up under the rib cage, that hollowing out sensation. That each exhalation really links you to your core and to that stability. And then come onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, and step forward to your fingertips. We're just going to open the feet hip distance apart. Little micro bend in the knee, offering that softening through the upper back and middle back. And with the feet hip distance, if you need to, observe here for a moment with your eyes that the arch of the inner foot is equal and balanced. You're not leaning into one foot over the other, and also that there's a slight arch to the outside of the foot. You can even try to stick your pinky finger under there if you'd like. And just notice you have a tendency then to lean into the front of the foot or the back of the foot. And can you find that balance between the two? And then you can even, with your eyes or without your eyes, you can start to feel the inner thighs lengthen. And maybe you can see your legs straightening out a bit, hips lifting. And then from here, we're going to go back to Yoga Mudra. So we're going to interlace the fingers again. Maybe do it the awkward way. And now pull the knuckles away. Really stretch the shoulders away from the ears. This is no perfection here. It's just meeting yourself where you are. And then seeing if as you really consciously breathe, can you find a little more space through letting go? Just feel the body and its natural response to maybe question the position that you're in. But the more you breathe and establish that stability there, more the muscles and the fascia will begin to soften and allow for greater room. Last two here, see if you can let the knuckles even float back a little further. Keep releasing on that exhalation. And then just slide the hands down the back of your legs. Wrap the hands around the calves for just a moment. You can either grab elbows if you prefer here. And see if you can just let the head and neck hang. So really imagine there's a weight attached to the crown of your head. Just the heaviness of it is getting more and more traction for the spine. Now we're going to stay down here a little bit. So you're welcome to either have your hands on your shins, or if you'd like, you can hook your index middle thumb around your big toe. Do some dynamic monkey. So on your inhalation, stretch the heart away from the pubic bone, elongate the spine, and really draw the shoulders down the back. And then exhale, navel into the spine, bend the elbows out wide, and forward fold more deeply through the legs. So if you have your hands on your shins, you're just inhaling and sliding the hands up the shins, straightening the arms, creating that length that way, but also energetically through the spine. And then exhale and sliding your hands back down. So you decide what's best for you. Keep going, inhaling, exhaling. Remember, we're still practicing that Samavritti. Even inhale, even exhale. Now, as you're breathing in and out, if you want to bring in that pause, then see how the body adjusts to that. So inhalation, filling to your capacity, pause there at the top of the breath and just observe whatever your natural length is. Exhale, then letting all breath leave the body, and natural pause here. And then keep going, and you'll know that you're in that place of observing and really honoring the natural curve if there's no gasping for breath. So if you're finding that you're creating any tension at all, any kind of gasping, it's too long. We're not listening to that inner voice. So the breath should stay smooth and even the heart rate, smooth and steady. Last one here. Very nice. And then bring your hands to your hips, scoop your heart, press equally into both feet, and slowly come up. Take your time to come up. Don't want any lightheadedness. And then just bring your arms by your side and stand for a moment in Samavritti and observe. And just watching that blood drain back down to the feet and sending with it anything you need to release. All right, very nice. We're going to be at the front of our mats for some salutations here. And just Surya Namaskara C, but half sun salutation C. So it's going to be constantly moving, but it's a little bit easier. There's no chaturanga. So we're going to do several rounds on each side. So hands here together in front of the heart. Inhale the arms, reach up. Lift and lengthen through the side bodies. Exhale the navel to the spine as you fold. Now you're starting with the right leg going back first. Lower the knee, top of the foot, and inhale up into low lunge. Press firmly into the top of the foot. Really feel stability there. And then exhale, you're just stepping the back foot forward again. Standing forward fold. Inhale the arms. Reach out wide as you lift and rise. Lengthening through your core. And then exhale, reach the arms again like we started, out wide till they come down to your side. And then back to the heart. Now let's do it again. Inhale the arms, reach up. And exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Left leg goes back this time. Lower the knee, top of the foot. And inhale, extend. Press evenly into the big toe and pinky toe. And then exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold again. Soften. Inhale the arms, reach out wide. Palms are turned up as you lift. And then again, you're reaching out wide. Palms turned down as you lengthen the arms away. Really feel that stretch along the arms. And then bring the hands to the heart. Okay, so that's just one round. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Right leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Allow that opening of the front body. Exhale, step the back foot forward. This time, if you'd like, you can add Yoga Mudra, interlace your fingers. And we'll change the position of the arms. So now you're going to bend through chair. Come forward with the arms. Open the front body. And then exhale and send the hands down the center line to the heart. Okay, so that's another option for you. Inhale the arms, reach up again. And exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Left leg goes back this time. Lower the knee, top of the foot. Inhale, feeling that length along the front body. And then exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold, and again, option to use Yoga Mudra. Bend and scoop now, come through chair. All the way forward, arms reach overhead. And exhale, down the center line to the heart. Good, let's do it again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Right leg goes back, lower the knee, top of the foot, inhale. Exhale, if you want to challenge, you can come forward and standing forward fold without touching your fingertips to the floor and move into Yoga Mudra. Then you'll bend the knees, come through chair. Lengthen and extend the front body. And exhale, hands to heart. And do it again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg goes back. Lower the knee, top of the foot, inhale. And again here too, if you want to challenge, stepping that back foot forward without touching the fingertips to the floor, Yoga Mudra. Bend and scoop, come through. And exhale, heart. Okay, so any of those three options is fine. Keep going. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right leg back, low lunge. Exhale, standing forward, fold your way. Bend and scoop, come through. And exhale, heart. Left side, inhale. Exhale. Left leg back, no lunge, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, heart. So we're going to do one more on the right, one more on the left. And this time, if you want, try bringing in that pause. So you'll inhale. Soft pause here. Exhale. Soft pause here. Right leg back, inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Left leg back. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. And exhale. How about one more just on your own without any cueing? So don't worry if you forget a pose. You just pick up where you left off. If you'd like to add in the pauses there, then do the pauses. Just listen to that voice of your breath, which guides you in the postures. Make sure you do right and left side. And when you finish, either hands at your heart or down by your side, just take a moment in Samavritti. Just observe. What are you feeling? How's the breath? And what's the quality of the mind, particularly after bringing in that soft pause at the top and the bottom of the breath? Does it feel like there's more clarity, more awareness? All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a vinyasa here as well, starting at the front of the mat. Big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. So you're going to inhale, the arms reach up, and let the right knee lift at the same time. Then you're going to exhale and step back to high lunge. Inhale, open up the heart, and really allow that expansion through the front body. And then exhale, we're going to come into a twist and take the right elbow to the left thigh, and just twist there in the spine for a moment. Inhale, release the fingertips to the floor. And then bring weight into that front foot, and just lift the right leg up, just for a moment. Exhaling there, and then inhale, we're going to step the back foot forward. Exhale in this forward fold. And then inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay, so we'll do the other side. So arms by your side. Inhale, arms reach, left knee lifts. It's exhale as you step back to high lunge. Inhale as you extend the heart in high lunge position. And then exhale, you're just going to take the left elbow over and come into spinal twist. Inhale, release the fingertips to the floor. Exhale, weight goes into that front foot, lift the left leg up in the air. Inhale, bring that foot down. Exhale, establish standing forward fold. Inhale, the arms reach out wide. And exhale, hands to heart. So we're going to do that again. Arms by your side, inhale, right leg, right knee lifts, arms reach. And exhale, step back to high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale to spinal twist. Right elbow on left thigh. Inhale, fingertips to the floor. Exhale, weight goes into that front foot, lift the right leg up in the air. Inhale, bring the leg down. Exhale, establish standing forward fold. Inhale, extend the arms. And exhale, hands to heart. Arms down by your side. Inhale, the left knee lifts. Exhale, high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, spinal twist. Inhale, fingertips to the floor. Weight into the right foot. Exhale, left leg lifts. Inhale, bring the leg down. Exhale, establish standing forward fold. Inhale, the arms reach out wide. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. Now, arms down by your side. Inhale and lift your right knee up. Arms reach overhead, just like you did a moment ago. And then you can either twist the navel to the right and extend both arms out wide, or if you'd like, you can hold on to that left knee for a little more support and also a little leverage to draw the navel in and twist a little deeper to the right. So you decide what feels best for your body. And then as you're breathing here, just see how tall you can get by rooting down through your foot, lifting through the crown of the head, and rotating the navel just a little deeper to the right. So each inhale, you get a little taller. Each exhale, you squeeze just a little deeper. One more breath here. Now inhale, come back to center with the arms reached overhead and try to maintain that balance. Yeah, good. Now, right hand grabs the top of the right foot, left arm stays overhead, and just draw the heel to the glute. Try to keep the inner thighs together, nice and stable. So establishing balance. Gaze is either steady at the floor for more support or at the horizon. One more breath here. And then gently release the arm, release the foot, and if you want, you can shake out your feet. Find Samavritti, so find balance between both feet. This is very comforting to the nervous system. So we can challenge it by going asymmetrical for a moment, and then we come back to the stability, and the nervous system goes, oh, okay, I got this. So weight into the right foot. We're gonna bring the arms up over the head as we lift the left knee. So grow tall. Now, twist the navel to the left and extend the arms out wide. You can stay in that position, keep reaching the fingers away from one another, or you can hold the outside of the left leg and use it as a little leverage while you have that bind there to rotate the navel a little deeper to the left. So you decide whether you want to keep the hand on the knee or you keep the arms out long, but just breathing and establishing that even inhale, even exhale. And here's a great place where we're challenged to really find out, do we have a preference of inhalation over exhalation? Does one feel easier than the other? One more breath. Now come back to center, bring both arms up, challenge that balance, and now left hand goes down to grab onto the top of the left foot, draw the heel to the glute, keep the inner thighs toward one another. Rooting down through that right leg, elongate the side bodies. Breathe deeply here. Keep absorbing the tailbone in, lifting the lower belly. So that helps establish that core. And then bring the hand, bring the leg down, and stretch out the feet. Arms by your side. Again, both feet on the ground. Feels so good just to have that symmetry. We're going to challenge balance a little more, so we'll come back to the front of our mats. Big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. So let's take a full vinyasa. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold navel to spine. And then inhale, halfway to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank. And for the first round for plank position, bring the knees to the floor. Squeeze the elbows tight till the belly comes down, tops of the feet ground. Inhale, halfway up for cobra, so elbows and shoulders pull back. And then exhale, the navel up and back. Downward facing dog. We'll take 3 full breaths here. This is your opportunity to get that breath back to Samavritti if it was lost. And maybe even to observe that soft pause at the top and the bottom of the breath. Last one. Now, from here, look between your hands. You're going to lunge your right foot forward to your fingertips and stay in high lunge position again. So fingers in a finger stand. Create length between the legs. So really make sure your stance is long, and then the shin bone is pressing away from the back heel, but the knee is completely in alignment with the ankle. So we're going to just establish some balance here. You can just have your fingers in a finger stand or lighten that load. Or if you've got a little more stability today, try extending the arms out wide and just relying on the legs for that grounding and that anchoring. At the same time too, can you feel there's an extension through the arms so that you're not gripping in the upper back or neck? And really the neck is lengthening as the crown moves away from the heel. Breathing here. Can you maintain even inhale, even exhale in the midst of the effort without strain? Last one. Good, and then release the fingertips to the floor. Now, if you want to flip your mat over so you have a little extra padding under your knee, do that. Lower the knee down. And we're going to keep the back toes tucked under as you walk your hands back and just settle into this half hamstring stretch here, this half Hanumanasana. Hands are down, grounded into the earth. Flex the foot and pull the pinky toe side of that foot down. Just let the upper body settle over the legs. So just the weight of the upper body is enough to create a little more length there. Breathe deeply. One more breath here. And then come forward again. So just walking the fingers back, tuck the back toes under, and your mat hopefully will just fall back into place. Now we're going to bring our body weight forward into that right leg and see if you can come forward with the left knee lifted. So arms reaching up, again, challenging that balance. So with that left knee lifted, can you take the ankle to the right thigh and then hands down the center line to the heart? And we're just going to bend down into chair and allow that left hip to open a little bit. So just getting a little more flexibility in there. Flex your left foot. Feel that rotation of the left hip flexor. Left hip rotator. And as you sink back into chair, make sure the glutes are sticking out behind you, and then lift the pelvic floor, lift the navel in and up. And just breathe here. Gaze steadily at the floor or the horizon. And again, notice your breath. Is it challenged? Can you find a way to relax more deeply? Maintain that even inhale, even exhale. Good. One more time. We're going to lift that left knee up, challenge that balance. Arms are going to reach, and then slowly come down. Arms by your side again. Whew, so nice to have symmetry here. Feel the body, the nervous system settle into that grounding. And then we'll come back to the front of our mats again and take another vinyasa. So big toes are touching space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold navel to spine. Inhale, halfway. Monkey pose, hands on the shin or floor. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. This time, if you want to leave the knees lifted for chaturanga, go ahead. And you scoop into upward facing dog with the shoulders rolling away. And navel up and back for downward facing dog. And we'll take 3 full breaths here as well. So balance is one of those very interesting things to observe in the body, because right when you think you've found balance, that's when you start to move out of balance. And we find this in life as well. It's like right when you establish a schedule, a steady rhythm, a pattern, life changes and the schedule and the pattern needs to change. And so being able to challenge that, work with that, and then become flexible in that is really key. So that there's a new balance each and every moment and we're able to still be established in it. Okay, so now we're going to look at between the hands, and you're going to lunge the left foot all the way to the fingertips. And now we're going to be in high lunge on this side. Make sure that back leg is strong and straight. And as you're breathing here, fingers in a finger stand. Let that front shin bone reach away from the back heel, so firm up the legs. And make sure that ankle does not go, that knee does not go over that ankle. Now you can stay here. If you are in a finger stand, lighten the load on your fingers, so it's very little effort there. Or you can extend the arms out wide. Reach the crown away from the heel, reach the fingertips away from one another, just sending any of that dense prana, any of this contractions or tension out through the fingertips. Reach the crown away from the heel for more elongation of the spine and breathe deeply through it. Try to keep the breath even and not strained, no tension there in the breath. Last one here. Now the fingertips come back down, and if you want to flip your mat over, you're going to place that padding underneath the knee. The back toes are tucked under, and you're going to sit back on the heel, flex the left foot, and now just soften over that leg. Head and neck is relaxed. Remember, it's the upper back that's doing a lot of the work here, but just relaxing and settling in, we get a deeper stretch along the back of that left leg. Keep letting the breath release the tension, and maybe observe that the exhalation is a greater guide when we get to that point of letting go. Very good. Now we're going to come back into that low lunge position. Flip the mat. Should go right back into place. Fingers in a finger stand. So we're going to come back up into that chair pose, but remember to start first with the right knee lifted. So be prepared, put weight into your left foot, and 1, 2, 3, ground into that supporting leg, lift the right knee, and establish that balance there. And now we'll take that that ankle to the left thigh, hands down the center line, and start to settle back into chair. Now in chair, just let that right hip rotator open. Keep flexing the right foot. And send the glutes back. Really imagine like you're about to sit back into a chair, but then lift the pelvic floor, lift the navel in and up, so you have that more stability. And then just see where it's tense. Notice if there's a difference between the right hip and the left hip. Grounding, anchored through that supporting leg. And then challenge one more time. Root into that supporting leg. Lift the right knee. Arms reach over the head. And then slowly bring it down. Both feet on the floor. Take a moment if you want to close your eyes or have that soft gaze. Just established in Samavritti. All right, so here at the front of your mat, have the feet hip distance apart. Once again, we're going to lift the right knee up. As the arms come overhead, finding that length through the side bodies. Now, you're going to start to push the right foot back, lean the chest forward, and come into Warrior 3. If having the arms over the head is too intense for Warrior 3, take the arms out wide, bring the hands to the heart, or reach the fingers back towards the toes. Whatever it's going to take for you to work on that spinal length and to not shorten the breath in any way. Now, rooting through that supporting leg, you've been preparing for this pose. Feel that space there. And then release the fingertips down. Now, if you have blocks, you can bring the floor up to you if you're tight. We're going to take the right leg up higher for standing leg splits. Bend into both knees. So bend the bottom knee and the top knee and sink down a little bit into the posture. And now root into your supporting leg and lift the right leg away a little further. Do it again. Exhale, bend into both knees. Sink into it, releasing that tension. And then go back into it and extend and create just a little more room. One more. Little give. Bend the knees. Root into that supporting leg. Lift that top leg even higher. And then bring the right foot forward to meet the left. Find your standing forward fold. Head and neck is relaxed. Navel floats in and up under the rib cage on your exhalation. And just feel the mind growing quiet. Svasta, to be established in the self. Hands to the hips, scoop the heart, come back up into standing. Take your time, you're down for a bit. And then just bring the arms by your side. Observe what's changing in the body. And balanced poses have this amazing way of anchoring the mind into the present moment. If I feel very distracted, one of my favorite things to do is find a balanced posture for just a few breaths, and suddenly the mind comes right back into that one point of attention. Okay, weight into the right foot. We're going to do the other side. So now left knee lifts along with the arms. Create that length along the side body, same as we've been doing for the whole practice. And now send the heel back. And as you start to send the heel back, lean the torso forward. And just feel that elongation of the spine. So really, almost like you're in a back bend here. The heart feels open like upward facing dog. Now if that's too intense, extend the arms out wide. Bring the hands to the heart. All of these options for the arms to make sure that you can breathe well in the posture. Crown reaches away from the heel. Find even inhale, even exhale. Relax as much as you can. And now fingertips to the floor, and if you have those blocks, place the fingers on the block. Lift the left leg up a little higher, standing leg splits, try to keep the hips square. Bend the bottom knee and the top knee, sink into the pose. Just do a little bit of a give there in the body, and now anchor down through the right leg and lift the left leg higher. So you're repeating that. Exhale, sink down into the pose, get low. And now root down and find just a little more height. So there's this beautiful ability for the body to find more space and length in the trust of the repetition. And now here, just reach away as high as you can, and then send that left foot forward to meet the right, standing forward fold. Now just be steady here. You can have that micro bend in your knee if you need it. And just settle in. Navel in and up under rib cage. Nervous system nice and calm. Imagine that weight attached to the crown of your head, lengthen the neck. Good. Inhale halfway to monkey pose from here. And then exhale, step back to plank position. Chaturanga your way, so that means lowered the knees or keep them lifted, squeezing the elbows tight. If the knees are down, you're coming into cobra. If they're up, it's upward facing dog. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Good, and then from here, bring the knees to the floor. But sit tall on your heels, so torso's upright. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts, hands rest gently in the lap. So if you'd like, you can do Dhyana Mudra, left hand under the belly, right hand on top, thumbs touch. It would be the opposite for men. And then just for a few moments, enjoy the quietude of the mind. Present moment awareness. And if the breath needs to slow back down and become steady again, let that happen. Good, one more here. Just resting. So we're going to come forward into tabletop position. Just bring the hands under the shoulders. And then cross the left knee over the right knee. So again, a little bit challenging here for the balance. So the left knee is going to cross over the right. We're on that, so that tight rope. And then you're going to press down into the knees and come up in with the torso. So body's upright. Tailbone needs to deeply absorb into the body and the lower belly lifts. Then in this position, we're going to take it almost like we're doing eagle pose. So the left arm goes out, and then the right arm is going to go over at the elbow, and you're going to rotate the arms together. So it's like eagle on your knees. And then you're going to lift the elbows up as high as you can, stretch into the shoulders and upper back, and then lower the elbows as much as you can. And do that again, repeating, lifting elbows as high up as you can. And exhale, lower. And so even just that movement's going to challenge the balance a little bit, as well as open and lengthen the area behind the heart. Good, one more here. And then gently release the fingertips to the floor. Spread the feet out as wide as you can and sit back, sit back. So rather than doing cow's face here, as we have cow's face legs now, we're gonna just bring the hands onto the inner foot, wiggle a little deeper into that pose, and then just walk your fingers forward. And just one at a time, just kind of wiggle the fingers nice and wide, wider than your shoulders. And then once you feel a little bit of a stretch there, you're gonna press into the hands and push the weight back into the hips and let the head bow. So really let go through the upper back. Good, and then gently come back, take your time. And then we'll switch. So we're just gonna cross right knee over left knee. Come back into tabletop position. So if you need to get a little tighter there, when you come in tabletop, get a little more established, that's fine. And then when you feel ready, you're gonna press down into the knees. You can bring your hands to your hips to start, and then just lift your torso up. So now we have the opposite leg forward, and sometimes we find that there's just a big difference between the two, and that's okay. You can just stay here with the hands to the hips if you'd like. And just feeling that stretch, absorb the tailbone and lift the lower belly. So it's really key to protecting the low back here. And now we can take the right arm out if you'd like, left arm over at the elbow, and rotate those palms together. And it might be different here with the shoulders as well. And you'll lift the elbows up as high as you can, stretching into that upper back. Exhale, lower them. Depressing the shoulders and feeling that length in the neck. And keep going with your breath, please. Inhale, exhale. Nice, firm stability, challenging that balance. Okay, last one here, so just one more round, lifting the elbows and lowering them. And then you're gonna just gently release your fingertips to the floor and sit back on your heels. I'm sorry, your hips. Now, if you need any kind of tightening of the legs here, it's really helpful to do that. Different hand position on the inner foot, lifting the hips up and wiggling a little closer together. And then lowering back down. So we're in those cow's face legs, and then we're gonna bring the fingertips forward, and again, you're just gonna walk them forward. And really be honest with yourself, mindful of where you feel like, okay, I've got some tension here. Just pause and breathe into it. But once you do find that spot, let your head and neck go. So you're not gonna grip the upper back in any way, you're just gonna let that body settle into the experience. All the weight you've been carrying, just let that release through the arms. Even the density of the mind, let that go. And then very slowly walk your hands back. We're just gonna extend the legs out wide. So if you need padding under your heels, make sure you turn sideways on your mat. So taking the hands and grabbing one of the inner thighs, rotating it in and down, and then doing that on the other side is helpful. Or you can take your hands by your hips and scoot your pelvic floor forward. You can also prop your hips up with a blanket or a bolster. So anything that you need to feel comfortable here. Start with that tall spine, and then again, fingers just in front of you. Close your eyes. So after all that compression of the inner thighs and legs, you're gonna have them nice and open here. And just start to lean forward. And this is one of my favorite places to really teach about mindfulness and present moment awareness. So really just come into that first area of sensation and be honest with yourself. Try to keep the spine long, but close the eyes. And then reestablish that even inhale, even exhale. So that Samavritti breath. And again, you could bring back in the pause. So if once you feel that the mind is really linked to the breath, then that soft pause at the top of inhale and exhale gradually may deepen. Now, if the body starts to soften, of course, that's your permission to go a little bit further, and then you're just going to honor the next edge you find. But to really become established in this practice, it's helpful to listen to that inner voice. So you get to the top of the breath, you're going to hold it in, and then listen for that inspiration, that nudge, whatever that is for you, before the body wants to exhale. It's just that little bit of guidance. And then same thing on the exhalation. Just a few more rounds here, really connecting to that inner voice. And then slowly come up. Take your time. Just ease back. Appreciate that stillness, again, the quietude of the mind. And scoop one hand under one knee, the other hand under the other knee, and just gently start to guide the knees back together. Bring the soles of the feet together and scoot the hips forward. Wrap the hands around the feet and pull the sternum up. And just feel the knees growing heavy, the hips opening in a slightly different position here. And even the bind of the hands to the feet, creating just a little more lengthening in the arms as you pull the spine away from that. And then hands to the outside edges of the knees, just guide the knees back to center and wrap the hands around the knees, forehead down, and just give yourself a hug. So just in that beautiful space of being internalized and appreciative of everything our body does for us. And appreciative of that inner voice, appreciative of what it is within us that guides us when we are willing to listen. So in this incredible experience as a human, having that free will, but discernment as well, and recognizing what voice do we want to listen to. And then we're going to hold on to the shins and just slowly make our way back down onto our mat. So just get a good grip there on the shin bones and the navel towards the spine, and just slide your feet across the mat until you can't go any further, and then just roll down, nice long spine and knees into chest. If you want, you can rock a little bit from side to side. And then the right knee can pull in, and you can extend the left leg long. You just have that separation of the inner thighs. And then straighten that right leg, extend the arms out wide, and now take this right leg all the way across the body to the left side towards the hand. Keep the left leg, the supporting leg, firm into the floor. Rotate the navel to the right, and then just stay here, Antara Bahiranga Kumbhakas, just that releasing of the navel toward the back body, so the right shoulder opens up just a little bit more. And you can feel that spiral all the way from the root of the spine to the crown. Full, complete deep breaths. Stay established in that supporting leg. One more. And then you can guide the right leg back up to the heavens, flexing that foot, and then just interlace the fingers around the back of the thigh. Just pull the leg a little closer to your body. Just give a little tug there, and then we'll release. So other side, make sure you're squared on your mat. Left knee into the chest, right leg long to the floor. Feel that separation between the inner thighs. Breathe into that compression there on the top of the left thigh. And then left leg is going to extend straight up in the air, flex the foot. Arm's going to open up wide. And now the leg is going to go over to the right side as you rotate your navel to the left. And so here in this position again, we're going to feel the navel pulling in. And as it softens, it's going to help that left shoulder open a little bit more. Breathe deeply here, feeling the cervical spine stretch as well. Good. One more full, complete breath. And now slowly bring that left leg back up. And then interlace the fingers around the back of the thigh and just give a little pull there. All right, very nice. Both knees into the chest. Rock a little from side to side on the spine. Just any massaging you need for that back body in order to prepare for Shavasana. So if you have any kind of bolster you want to place underneath your knees, take the time to set yourself up so you're very comfortable. And then you're going to want your legs just a little wider than hip distance apart. Arms down by your side. Again, if you're in a lighted room, you may want to put a scarf or eye pillow over the eyes. And then the arms are down by the side, a little bit wider than the shoulders. Palms are facing up and shoulders tuck underneath you. And now just take a minute to recognize that there's been a shift in the body and the mind. That the right side perhaps is a little more balanced with the left. The top, a little more balanced with the bottom. Front and back. And I always think it's so beautiful that us humans live in this balance between earth and heaven, that really where the heavens meet the earth is the place where we reside. So once again, you can settle your consciousness into the center of the heart, where those earth energies and those heavenly realms meet in the physical body. And just enjoy that feeling of balance. very slowly begin to deepen your breath. And then just let that breath guide the awareness back into the body. Once again, meeting with present moment awareness. And just lightly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and you can roll your wrists and your ankles. As the skin and the body enliven, keeping that awareness with you as you roll to the right side into fetal position. And placing the left arm deeply into the earth, slowly come back up into seated. Let the head and neck be heavy, eyes closed as you come up. So once again, we're going to find a comfortable seated position so you can move the flesh from the sit bones and sit tall. And then just find the breath nice and even again. Come in through the nostrils, travel it down, chest, ribs, belly, maybe pelvic floor. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly, ribs, chest. And now begin to add in Ujjayi breathing. So if you hadn't had Ujjayi throughout the practice, which I would typically recommend, helps the mind to stay focused anyway, then bring it into your practice now. So Ujjayi is that ocean wave or whisper type sound to the breath. It just provides a little more control as the breath comes in. Feel how far down it goes with the vibration. Exhaling, then coming back up and out. And before we had established sort of a 5-5 Samavritti pattern, but for convenience sake, where we're going, can you stretch that now to a 6-6? And if that's not comfortable, certainly welcome to go down to 4-4, but some sort of even interval. And then once you're established in that new pattern, we're going to bring in a pause at the top of the breath for half the length of the breath. So say you're at the 6 count inhalation, you're going to actively now pause for 3 counts. So it's going to be specific, and then exhale for the 6 again, and then pause for 3. So a few rounds here, creating that. Again, Ujjayi breathing as you're doing this. And keep going until it feels very stable, very established. Again, even if you have a preference of inhalation over exhalation or vice versa, trying to really create this very even quality to the breath. As you continue this, some of you may notice the nervous system becoming very stable as well. Awareness stable, even the thought processes becoming very anchored and stable. Now we're going to change this breath here in just a moment. But I'm going to describe it first. You can continue with what you're doing as I describe it. So we're going to do what's called Samikarana, and we're going to bring our attention as we breathe in to the crown of the head and beyond the crown of the head. So to really kind of stretch and see how far our awareness can go beyond the crown of the head, again, into those sort of heavenly realms, if you like to think of it like that. And then as you exhale, the breath is going to travel down along the front line or front side of the body. So imagine a line there drawing along the front side of the body to the roots. And then you're going to feel as if you could go down deeper than the roots. So can you go further into the earth? How far down can your awareness go and travel? And then when you come back up from there, we're going to come up from the back side of the body. So just like there's a line along the back side of the body, and we're going to inhale that back up along the back side of the body through that back line, past the back of the neck, past the back of the head, and then once again going as high up or as far beyond the crown as possible. Okay, so let's do one more of your breathing that you've been doing, established in very stable Samavritti. Good, and now on your next inhalation, you're going to breathe up as high as you can. Take your awareness as high above you into those heavenly realms. How far can your consciousness travel? And there's really no limitation here. So allow it to reach as high as it can. Now on your exhalation, bringing that breath down along the front side of the body. Really feel the breath move all the way down in the front. And when you get to the roots, you're going to see how far down you can go past the roots. How far can the consciousness go down? Now when you come back up, you're going to inhale, and it's going to come along that back line, that back side of the body. Traveling up past the back of the neck, past the back of the skull. And once again, when you get to the crown, you're going up as high as you possibly can, maybe further this time, maybe the same, maybe lower. And again, exhale and come down as far as you can along that front line to the roots and beyond. This last one's going to be completely on your own. Finish it, you're going to come back up through that back line to as high as you can, and then let the awareness just stay there as you maintain normal breathing. So no longer needing even ujjayi breath, relax all the effort, but let the conscious awareness remain in that highest, most elevated state. And sometimes I find when I do Samikarana that it's easy to stay there. At other times I find that the consciousness just wants to drop back down, and that's okay. That's just where you're at. So at some point it might settle back into the third eye region, and then you can just be still there. Very slowly bring your hands to your heart, let your thumbs touch your sternum and bow your head. We'll just go back to the intention that we set at the beginning of this practice, really to establish ourselves in that balance, and the balance between the earth energies and the heaven. Really recognizing in our own life where maybe we're giving preference to one over the other, and if there is a deficiency, can we then be mindful to call in more of the activities, more of the qualities of what we are deficient in. And that from that place of balance, moving out into the world as a beacon for stability in an ever-changing environment. So let's seal this practice with the chant of Om. Take a deep inhale in. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today.